now. I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything to this or not, but we just will, I guess.
Okay.
All right. So we're here over at St. Matthew's house in Florida, and I'm here with my buddy Adam, who I met during my time out here, and just gonna hear a little bit of his, I guess, his testimony, his things that he has worked through, that got him, that brought him here to this program, and how this program has helped him, and things that he's been working towards, and other things like that. So, yeah, Adam, I just wanted to. We talked a little bit before. You shared with me a little bit about things in your life as well, but yeah, anything that you feel like you want to open up about or talk about with this, just maybe stuff that in the past that that you were dealing with, struggling with, or any past addictions that you might want to talk about, or anything like that. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'll start by saying, this program, St. Matthew's House, it's a great program, and I definitely want to give thanks to God and all those brothers in my life who have held me accountable to push me in the right direction. But to go backwards in time, I fell, captive, a prisoner, in a sense, to corruption. 9 years old, I started, drinking. My family, there was a lot of troubles within the family. My mother and father split when I was very young, and it took my sister and my cousins to they took on the responsibility of raising me at a younger age, and they like to party, so I got adopted into that world at a young age. I carried that through to the point of learning how to break into cars, and I obsessed over stealing. I liked the feeling, the rush that I got while doing it, and when I was 13 years old, I got caught stealing from a church, the collection plate, and I didn't even really know who God was, but I was going to church for all the wrong reasons, and I got caught. They asked me to go and address the entire church and tell them what I did. And as soon as I did that, I got scared, and I never went back to church again. I just didn't like anything about it at that point, and I got into some really, really heavy drugs at the age of 15. At the age of 15, I started using drugs daily, and my schoolwork was not good, or my grades. I was not doing the schoolwork. I enjoyed doing drugs, and that's the only thing I wanted to do at that time. So I got expelled from school when I was 15, and my mother threw me out. She just didn't like anything that she was seeing. I went to go live with my father, and he was really easy to manipulate, and I started using more and more. That's what it became. It was more and more. When I finished high school, it was, I finished through a dropout prevention program, and it was enough to give me. It was enough to have the requirements to get into the military. I struggled a lot from the age of 15 to 17. A lot of some terrible things happened in my life that were traumatic for me. When I was 16 years old, I was robbed gunpoint, and I idolized the idea of looking tough, and that got me smacked in my face with a pistol, and all my money and drugs was taken from me. And it was a traumatic moment, because I could have either A, looked at it as a lesson to never do drugs again, or of course B, in a sense retaliate towards people in life and existence and sabotage even more. And I took option B. And when I was 18 years old, my mother had a Marine Corps recruiter call me. And when he called me, I was high. And something in me, there was something in me that made me decide to join the Marine Corps. I wanted to see what that was all about. I really didn't know anybody doing it. I didn't know anybody doing anything successful. I hung around with the wrong people. And I decided to give that a shot. I went 3 months into the Marine Corps, and my attitude became a problem. I ended up getting into a fist fight with another guy in my platoon, and they arrested me, and I got dishonorably discharged and not allowed in any military branch. That was my first time being arrested, and it was the worst time ever for me because, the first time for everything can always be scary. And for me it was, because I was threatened by military police, that I was going to get raped where I was going, and it made me hate authority. I became really resentful towards people with authority, and it caused me to use drugs, IV drugs, and I started getting arrested a lot, and it became a story of my life, just getting arrested and telling the friends, what happened, I thought it was cool. I thought that was who I wanted to be in life. And when I was 21 years old, I met the first woman who actually loved me, but I couldn't see it then. She was the mother of my child. When we met, she met somebody who was fake. I told her everything she wanted to hear, or at least I thought that she wanted to hear, to have her in my life, just to use her, which was very wrong. I hurt her severely emotionally. I was not ever there for her. I was only there for the drugs. I was only there for drugs, so she never got the real me. And when I got arrested on my first felony conviction, and she left me. She left me. The moment I got put in them handcuffs, that was the last time I seen her. She left me. She didn't respond to any of my letters. She didn't come visit me. Therefore, I never ever got to experience my son when he was born, or none of that. I did 10 months, and when I was released, I had kind of a good head on my shoulders, at least I thought, but I didn't change the way I thought at all. I still thought a lot of things that I no longer think are cool. I thought they were cool, and I got out, and my family told me the news that my child's mother married my stepbrother, which is my father's wife's son. He's like a brother to me, and that news it killed me. It dug deeper than anything in my life. It was the most traumatic thing I've experienced, because it was just something I wanted to be in my son's life, I thought, but I used that as the reason to numb myself completely, and I was doing it out of complete bitterness. I felt empty, and the drugs couldn't get me high enough. They couldn't take the pain away, and I honestly didn't even get to do it that long, because I think I was out maybe 4 or 5 months, and I got caught. I got set up by the narcotics unit and arrested on 4 felony convictions that I pled guilty to, sale charge and 3 possession charges, and that was what I needed to happen in my life, because my old way of thinking would have thought about seeking revenge on the individual that set me up, because he was supposed to be a friend, at least somebody I thought who was a friend, but none of those people I hung out with were honestly true friends. And instead, while I was incarcerated, I seen a guy who, outward appearance looked very dangerous, a lot of prison tattoos, but his inward appearance was beautiful. That's like the word I can use. He was in the Bible every day. He stayed to himself. He was so like on point with what he was doing, and I went and I asked him, what he was doing. Like I wanted to find out what he was doing because there was something about him. He was the only guy that didn't seem like he was manipulating people on the phone, or and he wasn't playing any games with nobody. And it was because he found God, and I got interested. I wanted to meet God. I wanted to find out what he can do for me in my life. And he did some pretty amazing things, shortly after that. I got blessed with an opportunity to go to a 10-month program, which fell in between my term of probation. It was a faith-based program, and I thought I committed my life to him, but I truly didn't surrender to the drugs and alcohol. I took interest in reading the Bible daily there. I graduated the program, but when that program was done, as soon as I left, I went right back to using drugs. And it was just weird how fast I did that. And looking back at it, I realized I didn't actually surrender. I didn't surrender to the fact that drugs were not, in fact, my friend. I thought drugs were my friend, but in fact, they were not. They were killing me. I was hurting everybody in my life, especially emotionally. Emotionally, I was killing my family. I was not there for any family events. And the ones I did make an appearance to, I was under the influence of drugs, and I would take off I wouldn't even stay the whole thing. So I was never there in their life, it seems like, when I look back to a young age, so I messed up again, and I ended up violating my probation. But the thing, this is where I can truly say where I got to. Well, first off, this is where I asked for help. I was actually high on drugs when I asked for help. As crazy as that sounds, I was really high, and but the thing was, I was very hopeless. I felt like my life was just like it had gone nowhere, and I asked for help. I asked God, please help me get off the drugs. I'm done. I don't want to do them ever again. And he answered that prayer. Later that day, my probation officer gave me a call. She told me I had to come in for a random drug test the next morning. I couldn't talk my way out of it. I even bought a drug test, or a drug cleaner, and I failed. I failed. And it actually, it scared me because of how real it was. Like, it was just undeniably real. And I ran, I hid like a coward from the law. I had a warrant out, and I was just hiding away in a house that was owned by one of my drug dealers, and I wasn't even coming out to buy cigarettes. I was held like hostage, or I held myself like a prisoner inside this guy's house until I finally realized that I was gonna have to deal with the consequences. And I went to go see my family before I turned myself in. That's what I thought I wanted to do. But on the road to doing that, I decided to stray from that and get high one last time, and it was the most miserable time. It was. I ended up overdosing my mother. Right there in front of my mother, she rushed me to the emergency room, and I asked her to help me when I was in there, and she took me to a program, and I was there a month, and I got finally hit with the warrant. The whole time at that program, I couldn't focus because I was so nervous and shook up that they were gonna find me there, and they did. But when it finally happened, I was totally surrendered. I was surrendered to God, surrendered to the fact that I never want to get high again. And I spent 4 months in county jail speaking life into people, something I never done. I was helping each and every guy that I could, even though there was not many, but I was trying to do that, and it was giving me a high that I never experienced before. And I knew God was very real in my life, and I got blessed with this program, St. Matthew's House. I got to come to this program, but the condition was I was on house arrest. You know, so I came to St. Matthew's House, and every day it's been a blessing. Every day, I've gotten to meet some really good people, who I would call my friends today. You know, they've looked out for my best interest in my life, and they do not want to see me wrong, or do wrong. I mean, and you know, every day I've spent trying to either read into the Bible, go to AA meetings, fellowship with the people here in the community, within this program, and even outside the program. Since I've graduated the program, I've stretched my boundaries to where I'm trying to reach those who are outside this program. You know, and I had a tough time through through a good majority of the program. Definitely the first half of the program, I struggled with being very hostile towards other people. And it made it to where I couldn't really ask for help when I needed to ask for help, and I would lash out on people who didn't deserve to be lashed out on. And when I first started happening, I decided to see a psychiatrist to answer my problem instead of going to God. And I was diagnosed something that bipolar, and I wasn't bipolar. The medicine caused a bad effect on me. I was getting the worst, some of the bad side effects, like severe panic attacks and hallucinations. And I was rushed to the ER 6 different times before they finally pulled me off the medicine. And I realized that I didn't want to be on medicine. Medicine is not the answer to my problems. It never has been. It never will be. God's the answer to my problems today. And I come across some really good people in my life. Zach's one of them. It's cool to get the opportunity, to allow God to use me as a vessel to speak life, give people hope. I realize now, I have a purpose. That purpose is to, not only spread the good news about Jesus Christ, but as well as it's to help people out that were like me, or who are like me, And I cannot reach. I've learned today that I cannot reach the ignorant, the people who are not willing to change, who are against the idea of never using drugs again. But I do realize that if the person is brokenhearted, hopeless, feeling that the world has beat them down, I realize those are the people I'm going to be reaching, and bringing God into their lives, bringing hope to the hopeless. That's a key point for me, man. That's what's keeping me sober. It's what's keeping me alive. It's keeping me feeling free and not a prisoner in my own head. I feel better than I've ever felt before. I'm 17 months clean today. It was not something that I can take credit for. The credit all goes to God. He's helped me in every aspect of it. It's definitely been a blessing, and that's my testimony, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What are some things that you see, maybe say a 5-year plan or stuff down the road that you see once you are done here at St. Matt's? Some things that you would like to do, possibly to help people, or just some things that you want to do with your life now, since you have gone from this complete change of being an addict to overdosing, that one just being put up in prison, to now here at St. Matt's and going to be graduating soon, or getting done with this program, sometime soon. Like, what are some things that you want to do with your life now, that you see coming up?
Well, I'm still finding more and more out on what I want to do, but I do know for a fact that within the next few years, I definitely want to work at a 30 to 60 day rehab. I want to be a tech, somebody who does the UAs, brings the guys to the beach, to the meetings, gets them to clean their apartments or whatever it is. I want to be that guy they look up to, or they want to, the guy that's gonna hold them accountable and motivate them. That way, I'm helping, people out that are like me, and then I also see myself going into the jails and prisons down the road, once I'm allowed to, and giving my testimony at their AANA meetings, and that's important for me too, because I do want to reach the hopeless who feel not only a prisoner in their head, but a prisoner in society as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I see.
Say if there is somebody who may be watching this that is possibly struggling with drugs right now, or maybe has struggling with some drugs that you did in the past as well, what would be something that you would want to tell them and want to speak into their lives that are watching this right now?
The most important thing that I would like to say to them is ask for help. Just ask God for help. Surrender yourself to the change. Don't keep doing something that's killing you and pulling you away from your family and putting you behind bars, and that.
Yeah. Where would be a place where they could go get like actual help here, as far as like an actual person or a number maybe, or
I would definitely say, once you've asked God for help, get somebody, even if it's someone close to you, or just get somebody to bring you to a detox, and from there, don't forget about that surrender. Ask them for help and what that next step will be, and they'll end up bringing you to a program, a place where maybe it's 30 days or up to 12 months or 18 months, who knows how long it might be, but commit yourself to something. I would prefer longer term. That way you could really have some time to yourself and time with other people who are just like you, to find out who you really are.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well,
Can we pray?
yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. God, thank you so much for Adam, Father. Lord, I thank you for this man's life, God, the way that you have just brought him through and gotten him through, Lord, to where he is now. Lord, I pray, Lord, that you will continue to use him in big ways here at St. Matt's, God, to speak life into the other guys that are here in this program. God, I ask, Lord, that Lord, that wherever he goes, Lord, that you will allow him to be an image bearer of you, God, and point people to the truth. Lord, I pray, Lord, that the dreams that he has, the things that he would love to do, God, and wants to do, God, I pray, Lord, that you will provide the way for him to do it, and you provide the means necessary to get those things done. God, continue to be with him during this program, Father, and just continue to bless him, God, and to continue to speak life into him. Allow him to continue to be a blessing for others. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Love you, man.
Love you, buddy.
Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
All right. Love you.
Love you,
I
buddy.
mean that. So, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah. I don't know how to stop this.